The drama surrounding Carmelo Anthony and Kobe Bryant during the 2009 Western Conference Finals wasn't just another chapter in playoff history. It was a collision of egos, legacies, and willpower that elevated the NBA into something resembling myth. In the spring of 2009, while most of the basketball world was transfixed by LeBron James and his march through the East, a more personal, more visceral battle was unfolding in Denver and Los Angeles. This wasn't about systems, statistics, or even franchises. It was about two men who knew each other, respected each other, and yet were determined to crush one another in the pursuit of greatness. Carmelo Anthony and Kobe Bryant weren't strangers. They had been Olympic teammates, had broken bread together, had laughed and sparred in moments off the court. But when the Western Conference Finals tipped off, those bonds dissolved into something more primal. "It's war," Kobe told Melo moments before the opening game. Melo didn't flinch. He knew exactly what that meant. Every jab, every smirk, every elbow would come loaded with intent. This was not simply competition, it was psychological warfare. By 2009, Kobe Bryant was chasing redemption. Shaquille O'Neal was gone. The critics said he couldn't win without him. Each playoff series became a referendum on his legacy. Kobe entered the conference finals averaging over 30 points, dissecting defenses with surgical precision, his footwork and fadeaways as sharp as a scalpel. He wasn't just a scorer anymore. He was a commander, demanding of himself and his teammates the kind of perfection that defined dynasties. On the other side was Carmelo Anthony, whose career until then had been one of tantalizing talent paired with unfulfilled promise. Questions swirled about his ability to lead a team deep into the playoffs. The 2009 Nuggets were different, though. They were rugged, hungry, and carried Melo's scoring as a rallying cry. He had finally begun to silence doubters with his efficient dominance, and now, standing across from him, was the ultimate test. The Black Mamba himself. Game 1 at Staples Center set the tone. Kobe was merciless, pouring in 40 points with a kind of methodical cruelty. But what shocked everyone was Carmelo's response. He matched Kobe almost shot for shot, dropping 39 of his own, refusing to be bullied or broken. The Lakers edged out a narrow win, but the message was clear. Carmelo Anthony was not just a participant in this series, he was a co-author of its drama. By Game 2, the psychological chess match had begun. Kobe reminded Melo before tip-off, "It's war," Melo nodded, smiling with defiance. The Lakers leaned on Kobe for 49 points that night, but again Carmelo answered with resilience, recording 34 points and 10 rebounds. The Nuggets weren't going away. They had taken on their leader's fearlessness, and Melo's refusal to bow down to Kobe became the heartbeat of Denver's push. Even Magic Johnson admitted he had rarely seen two players so locked in, so willing to sacrifice everything for victory. The series shifted to Denver for Game 3, and Melo exploded. He dropped 27 by halftime, his jumper falling effortlessly, his strength overwhelming defenders. It was the performance of a man determined to seize a legacy. The Nuggets pulled off the win, and suddenly, the invincibility cloak around Kobe and the Lakers showed cracks. Carmelo had not only put his team back in the series, he had planted doubt in Los Angeles, but Kobe Bryant thrived on doubt. In Game 4, with Denver surging and the Pepsi Center roaring, Kobe delivered one of the most defining performances of his career. Down double digits, he unleashed 18 points in the third quarter, single-handedly swinging momentum. He finished with 43, but more importantly, he imposed his will in a way that stripped the Nuggets of belief. This wasn't just scoring, it was dominance that bent the entire rhythm of the game. Tim Duncan would later remark that moments like, "Those were why Kobe's DNA was built for championships." As the series wore on, each possession began to feel like a duel inside of a duel. Melo pounding defenders in the post, rising for pull-ups with his smooth stroke. Kobe crafting shots out of impossibility, leaning back, fading away, somehow always finding the bottom of the net. It was artistry painted in bruises and sweat. Every game became a referendum on who wanted it more, whose heart would last longer. Game 5 in Los Angeles put Carmelo back in the spotlight. With his team desperate, he erupted for 38 points and 13 rebounds, including a dagger step-back three, in the final minute that silenced Staples Center. The Nuggets stole a win and regained control of the narrative. For that night, it was Carmelo who carried the aura of inevitability. Paul Pierce would later describe Melo's performance as pure disrespect. the kind of audacity only the greats possess. And then came Game 6. With everything on the line, the Lakers' championship experience rose to the surface. Phil Jackson's adjustments forced Carmelo into exhausting 1-on-5 battles. He still scored 35, but every shot was a war, every possession a marathon. Kobe, meanwhile, delivered in the only way he knew how, with poise, precision, and an unrelenting killer instinct. He closed the game and the series, sealing his ticket back to the finals. For the Nuggets, it was heartbreak. For Carmelo, it was bittersweet vindication. He had proven he belonged in the pantheon of elite scorers, that he could stand toe-to-toe with Kobe Bryant in his prime and never blink. For Kobe, it was another rung climbed on the ladder to immortality. He would go on to beat the Orlando Magic and secure his 4th ring, silencing critics who claimed he couldn't do it without Shaq. Yet the 2009 Western Conference Finals remains one of those rare series where the loser earned as much respect as the victor. Carmelo Anthony may not have advanced to the finals, but he emerged with his reputation transformed. Dwyane Wade would later say Melo went toe-to-toe with Kobe and matched him blow for blow, something few could ever claim. That series revealed the raw essence of competition, the willingness to risk everything, to fight without compromise, to embrace the brutality of the moment. Looking back, the Lakers' triumph was inevitable given their pedigree and leadership. But what fans remember most is not the final scorelines. They remember the stare-downs, the trash talk, the elbows, and the refusal of either man to concede an inch. They remember how Carmelo and Kobe pushed each other to their absolute limits, and in doing so, gave basketball one of its greatest spectacles. The drama surrounding that series is what defines the beauty of sports. It wasn't just about who advanced. It was about respect earned in combat, about two men who tested each other's souls in front of millions, and about the standard that was set for what playoff basketball should feel like. Kobe Bryant walked away with another championship, but Carmelo Anthony walked away with something just as valuable, the recognition that he could stand with the best of them. And in a league driven by legacy, that kind of respect is priceless. Even now, years later, when the 2009 Western Conference Finals comes up in conversation, the tone changes. The numbers are recited, but it's the intensity people remember. The fire in Kobe's eyes, the steel in Carmelo's demeanor. It was a series where greatness met greatness, and neither side backed down. And in those moments, basketball fans were the true winners, witnesses to a rivalry that was as fierce as it was fleeting, as brutal as it was beautiful. And so I'll leave the question with you. What do you remember most about the 2009 Western Conference Finals? Was it Kobe's championship resolve or Carmelo's fearless defiance? Did that series elevate Melo into the conversation of legends, or was it simply the final confirmation of Kobe's destiny? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown of one of basketball's most intense rivalries, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into the moments that shaped the game.